So welcome to the Spotlight series again, and we're looking at the single leg kick or one leg kick and the scissors. Now today we're going to swap the order around from the previous two videos we've done on these, and we're going to be looking at the scissors first. So we're going to be using the ball as a tool to help us challenge the stability. We did this with the foam roller before, but what we're going to do is put the ball underneath the pelvis. So I'm going to take myself down to the mat, lift the pelvis up and place the ball underneath. Now this is quite a larger ball than you might find yourself working with a lot. This ball was specifically designed for use with Pilates. It's a little bit firmer, a little bit thicker, but it does take a little bit higher. But all of the ball work we use in the pelvis like this all come from the spine corrector from the studio equipment. So the goal here is it's not on the glutes, it's not in the lower back, it's on the sacrum here. So you can feel that you can move your pelvis around and your back wouldn't feel stressed. Now, the alignment as always, feet in line with the knees, knees in line with the hip sockets, and all of the body nice and evenly distributed, not shifting off to one side. We're going to keep the arms down for the moment, with the hands nice and flat on the mat. You can always turn the palms in if you know that you want to open your shoulder a little bit more. Now here, the goal is, as always, with any of these movements that are done in the supine position in our backs, we're going to bring the leg up and control the pelvis. Now we can work with single leg. The movement always comes from the hip joint. And remember, the longer you make the lever, the leg, it's just a weight, that's all we're using it for, the more challenging it will be to control the pelvis in this way when we're doing the movement. So that's where the strength challenge comes in. The benefit here is by being higher with the pelvis, we open out the hip joint. So we get the muscle working, we get it longer. It's working, we get it longer. The movement will be done with the breath. Suggesting your control point would be breathing out as you go away, breathing in as you come back up. Try and make the movement match the breath. You're going to compare the sides. Now, as soon as you're on an unstable surface, any imbalance between left and right, or one side and the other, will always be highlighted even more. So if I take this leg up now, take it out longer, and then work with that range of movement, how high do I come? Until I lose the pelvis in this direction. So I've got to keep that control here, breathing out as I go away, breathing in as I come up. Your goal here with this movement is to build the control at this level so that we can then go to two legs. If you go to two legs, you can do a dip action one at a time, 1 foot finding the water, just testing the temperature. Or we can go into the more dynamic version where this movement is matched the breath a little bit differently. It's going to be in breath, out breath, out breath. Try and go for a longer leg. Remember, the hands are not doing all the work. In breath, out breath, out breath. Always think of the control. As you do the leg movement, the pelvis is not rolling about in the ball. It's telling you if you need to think and focus on your center a little bit more. Bring the legs in, just release the lower back, and we're going to take the ball away. And we're going to now move around into our one leg kick. So similarly, the ball is going to be used a little bit for stability challenge here, but it's also giving us the opportunity to just balance out the lower back muscles so that they're not overworked and stressed. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take the ball down just a little bit less firm. So I've taken some of the air out of it. So we're going to place the ball right into this area on the pelvis. So it's within the cup of the pelvis. And that's going to support the balance of the pelvis and the weight here. So you can see here, I can relax. I don't want to, however. I want to feel the muscles at the front of the body working. I want the center supporting that, and the lower back is not flattened. It's got a gentle curve. Palms together. Now the temptation is to drop back onto the ball here. So I'm going to actually think a little bit of focus pulling through the shoulders down to keep you towards the front of the movement. Now in this position here, you're going to take the leg out. Bring the heel in, take it out, drop it down, and transfer. The transfer, every time you do the transfer of weight, you're going to challenge yourself a little bit more. Now there is a further level of challenge to this movement, which you may or may not wish to do. What we're going to do is take both legs off the floor, and then do the action. As I do the knee flexion, I don't want the lower back to collapse. I don't want the pelvis to roll all over the place on the ball. So that alternating movement. And then we could go to a more dynamic version, alternating, alternating, alternating. All the time, the shoulders down the back. Remember, the shoulders are keeping you forward in this direction. Alternating. My coordination is not great today. Bring it back in. Take the knees down. And just remind yourself of the subtle control at the lowest level before we just ham a little bit out of this movement. Pushing back. Come off the ball. And just remove the ball in front of you and release your lower back. So both of those movements, using this ball, because it is more unstable, it can go all these different directions, are going to challenge your stability control, which means your center. So if you're feeling tension, if you're grabbing muscles to hold yourself in place with tension, you've lost the technique. You're no longer working from that inside-out concept. So whether you're targeting the back chain muscles on the one-leg kick, or the front chain muscles on the scissors, both of these movements are challenged further by using this unstable surface, but we get more protection in the lower back with the one-leg kick. Hope you enjoy these movements on the ball.